So here is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's pissed. She's pissed because she doesn't believe it's reform that these 20 are going for. And remember, we saw that pissing match between her and Boebert the other day? This has been erupting.
Yeah, it seems like they actually have like legit animus towards one another.
They definitely, they both want to be like the darling, and it's not room enough for both of us. And here she is. She's mad. This was yesterday. This was on after vote 3. They're already almost up to vote 5.
Have been negotiating, talking, debating back and forth in our conference, trying to come to a really good rules package, and it's amazing. As a matter of fact, I'll quote Matt Gaetz. He said it's exquisite. That's what he said on our conference call on Sunday. But in that conference meeting there, we found out that there were several members, 3 in fact, that went in last night and were demanding positions for themselves, demanding gavel positions, demanding subcommittees, demanding for people to be taken off committees and people to be put on committees. Three Republicans out of our 222. I want you all to know I have not done that for myself. The only thing I have done is debate and request and argue amongst my peers for the right things for the rules package and for our agenda for the American people. And that's the only thing I've done. I haven't asked for one thing for myself. And I'm the only Republican that has 0 committees. So you would think I would be the one in there asking for something, but I haven't done that. But I find out that it's my Freedom Caucus colleagues and my supposed friends that went and did that, and they asked nothing for me. Nothing. That's what I found out in there. I'm furious. Well, let me tell you something. While the conservatives that the base supports and believes in, let me remind everyone, they're not perfect either. Scott Perry, before his general election, refused to vote against the bill that was all about the gay marriage bill.
Pause it for 1 second. Can we just pause it to note that she was really hurt that they didn't even ask for committee positions for me.
So you're my friend? You're my friend and you wouldn't even ask?
Wait a second. You were trying to get on the committees and you didn't even invite me?
This is just bizarre because like the entire thing of like to go back to when the House vote for Pelosi, the Speaker vote for Pelosi, like I don't think the floor vote for Medicare for All was a good ask. I thought a better ask was those committee assignments and things like that.
Absolutely.
And that's actually disappointing. So to see Marjorie Taylor Greene saying like, yeah, we're not even doing any of that. Like that's the whole point of like what I would see as the point of this from a party.
Without a doubt. With the coalition going in and saying like, we want people who are ideologically like-minded to be on committees. She's pissed. And then she goes off on a list of like how the holdouts are not pure themselves. I mean, this is like as much as we have joked over the years that like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and these you know, Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, these people are like literally like have the mentality of junior high schoolers. We've been joking about that, but I think one of the things that we have forgotten over that time that we were joking is that it's actually true. It's not a joke. They are literally stunted like this. I mean, they are just completely devoid of any. And the thing is, and it gives them so much more latitude because they can do this for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, and they will lose nothing of substance. They'll lose politically, but it's not like the door to, you know, even when they had the majority, what was their policy? Tax cuts, attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act, and John McCain saved them because they repealed it and replaced it with nothing, which they had. It would be a disaster for them. But they have no agenda. Except for, in this instance, it's going to be the debt ceiling, and that's going to be a real problem. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, meanwhile, she lost an ally in this. And I'm not talking in Congress. I'm talking from Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes writes, total roid rage meltdown from Large Marge. Yikes. Marjorie staked her political career on a McCarthy speakership that she is now realizing will never happen. she should go on back to Georgia and repair her failed marriage instead of trying to play politics with the boys because she sucks at it. That is
a lot of misogyny in 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, he really gets in there. Marjorie is the definition of a political hack. She created a massive base of popular support by telling people what they want to hear. I wonder what that. I wonder what
how that happened.
Well, I just wonder what it is that he thinks that they wanted to hear, and that she doesn't believe it. No. I don't quite. Although she has no political clout, her fundraising power and popular support provided leverage.
What else is political clout besides your ability to raise money and the people, your support among the people? What else is there?
I guess like close proximity to somebody. I don't know. Which she then cashed in with a vulnerable Kevin McCarthy for a seat at the table. Doesn't matter that it was a rotten deal and a compromise with a true DC scumbag. All she saw was the prestigious committee assignments and the prospect of ascending the political ladder. To put it simply, she whored herself out for a payday from McCarthy with her goodies being earnest support of gullible Trump voters and conservatives. Isn't there also, and then here it is, Marjorie has once again betrayed her supporters and now isolated herself from the entire MAGA caucus. The interesting thing is that Trump wants McCarthy.
Yes, right.
Which goes to show you that, MAGA and Trump are not necessarily like...
What it reminds me of, and this is a bit far afield, but Bacon's Rebellion, both the governor of Virginia, the real governor, and Bacon himself were saying, we're doing this for the king. Like the way Boebert's like, Trump needs to tell you, McCarthy, that you need to step down. It's like, we're actually both on your side, Trump, and you just need to decide with us.
Exactly. And after the 3 floor votes today, she won't even get a committee seat out of it. First, the space laser apology. Do you understand? He thinks that she was selling out when she didn't, when she wouldn't stand by her claims about Jews with their space lasers. Mm-hmm. Then the Holocaust Museum tour. This is the big sellout for Fuentes.
Wow. Yeah.
Now this, time for Goofball to walk her highlights in her mom jeans back home to Georgia. She is not cut out for this. Paul and Jason, it might be a good time to publish that recording from AFPAC Green Room. You know the
America
one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The thing about being a genius is my foresight is always 2020. So they recorded her at AFPAC, and there's something that is damaging to her, which I presume means like where she says like, I don't really hate Jews or something. Now, Fuentes, I understand why Fuentes, this dynamic, because Fuentes has probably got to be worried about a lot of stuff being released about him. Right? Like letters.
Reminiscences.
Reportage.
Yeah. Associations. Relationships he may have had. I would imagine a guy like Nick Fuentes every day is super, super nervous. Basically because of his profile.
Compromising material returning.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, here's a guy who's built his career, yes, on anti-Semitism and racism and misogyny, but also things like homophobia. And I would imagine if you appeal to like racists and anti-Semites and misogynists and homophobes, they'd be upset if they found out that, like, I don't know, you were actually Jewish and celebrating, your Judaism, or if in secret you were like, I don't know, really respectful of women. I'm trying to think of another analogy of those things, but my point is he'd probably be nervous about it. I bet you he's nervous every day about that. That's where he gets the idea of getting compromising information. Sometimes when you feel like you're compromised or you have the potential to be compromised, you do that.
Can we really quick watch Boebert call out McCarthy?
Yes. This is from the 5th vote today, ladies and gentlemen.
Which McCarthy has already lost, by the way.
Which has already been lost.
They're in the E's of the alphabet, and he's already lost.
And what are the numbers? 20 again?
We haven't gotten that far yet, but I think already at least five have already voted him down.
My favorite president, call us and tell us we need to knock this off. I think it actually needs to be reversed. The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes and it's time to withdraw. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Now the ball's in Trump's court. Does he take orders from a woman or does he maintain his course?
I'm having lunch at Mar-a-Lago right now, like on his phone. Like,
I don't know. Marjorie's nicer to me, I think.
Marjorie's great, but Lauren's great too. Oh, God.
I love to be courted by these women. Sorry, lady, that's enough for me to go around.
Let's not fight. Oh, God. This is so fun. It really is fun to watch. I mean, it's going to suck when they, there is no scenario, it seems to me, where they don't crash the debt ceiling.
no way, of course.
I mean,
this sort of dysfunction kind of sets a predicate for that narrative a little bit, don't you think? Like it could end up hurting the Republicans even worse. If
the debt ceiling?
Yeah, if they're effing up this much and on NPR all the time leading up to it.
Without a doubt. We just don't know what happens when we default on our obligations as a country because we've never done it in the history of this country.
This is big now, too, apparently, from about 15 minutes ago. Rachel Bade from Political Playbook. Ken Buck, the Republican from Colorado, just said that if this keeps going, that McCarthy needs to cut a deal and let Steve Scalise get a crack at it.
I mean, Steve Scalise, are you really? I mean, I maybe they think they can get away with it. Maybe because he was shot.
There seems to be some reason why some members think he might, maybe off the record, seem like he's more amenable for some reason. That maybe he's just like, I don't. There's something about for some reason that I think McCarthy has this stink of being like a non-ideological people pleaser.
That is
yeah.
That is his reputation.
Whereas Scalise has like maybe slightly less of that. Might be more like he might come across more real for some reason. I don't know.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this.